Olsson, drummer for Elton John, and
Chuck Burgi, drummer for Billy Joel. And we're on tour together for hopefully the next couple of years. And we're coming live from the Honda Center in LA, actually Anaheim. And we've got all this distracting noise behind us, which is so unkind. We'll press on and try and get this done.
I actually was a guitar player in the very, very, very early days.
By the way, this is going to save me having to ask him these questions later, so I'm really thrilled.
I started off as a guitar player, rhythm guitar, way back in the early 60s. And in those days, when you're touring around England, you play these little pubs and clubs, and if you couldn't play the songs that were hits in those days, they'd start hurling stuff at you. So what I did, our drummer didn't show up for a gig one night, and I couldn't keep the time, so I went back on the drums and realized that when you can hide behind cymbals, this is so much better. You don't get hit by beer bottles and stuff. And I stayed with it ever since. And here we are on tour with Billy Joel and Elton together, using Paiste cymbals. I've been with Paiste now for about 7 years. Because, you know, I left the business for a little while to go race cars. So when I came back, I'd spoken with DW and they turned me on to you guys, Paiste, and it's been a great situation. And you guys are just an outstanding product. And I'm glad that Chuck here uses the same thing.
Let's see, I started working with Paiste in 1977. I moved over to London for a year and was playing in a jazz rock band called Brand X. And at the time, I was actually taking Phil Collins' place. So Phil was a Paiste endorser. I think he's since moved on, so we'll move on as well. But went to the factory and have been using them ever since. Primarily, I fell in love with it because at the time, all the other companies I was messing around with were so inconsistent that so I've been with them since '77.
They do actually take very good care of us. As Chuck was saying, other companies, you know, you'd be out there on the road and something would break, and oh well, we'll get it out to you, you know, the next day, but it never showed, you know, for weeks. But you guys are right on the ball, and that's the key of our life. If something goes away, it needs to be there the next day. You know, so we're very happy chaps. Well, you know, I think we're both very inspired with John Bonham, you know, because he had, in fact, he turned me on to the huge 24 that I use. Only difference being I have cymbals. Put records in it for that on my signature the beginning of those big ballads. And I noticed, I don't know whether Ginger was with Paiste, but he always used to use his cymbal as a crash. If you notice all the moments. But Bonham had that sound that only Bonham had. And you just can't replicate it.
But you did have cymbal sounds that I think are on the first and second album specifically that were so inspirational that every time he would just hit what I think is an 18-inch crash, I would flip. I'd be like, I gotta get a crash cymbal that sounds like that. His rides, his hi-hats. I tried to emulate those sounds for years, not knowing that they were Paiste, trying with other companies and pretty much failing miserably most of the time. Because most of the companies got back in the early 70s, mid-70s, they were really inconsistent. So,
and you guys, crash cymbals especially, I love that long decay that they have.
Absolutely.
And that's part of my signature too, is when you hit a cymbal, it needs to have that long decay. And you guys got it.
Paiste's got a lot of cymbals that I haven't even heard yet. But I feel I have like my security blanket, and I'll probably speak for Nigel as well, that knowing that if I'm out here or if I'm in Japan or if I'm in New Zealand and something breaks, I'll either get it from you quickly or we'll have the same thing with us, so that I feel totally comfortable and in a kind of secure environment, knowing that these cymbals, which I've been playing now, this particular setup for probably 6 years since doing Billy's Moving Out Broadway show. I had a couple of different sizes, but this is what I kind of started with. I'm still with them with Billy, and it's I haven't even heard all the new cymbals yet, but it's so fabulous to know that if something goes on, if I break a cymbal, that I'm not going to be pining for that. I'm going to get the exact same sound back again. And that consistency, first of all, and like Nigel said about the crash cymbals, I think the whole line is just extraordinary. I gotta tell you also that when I first started this tour, I had another pair of hi-hats which I was in love with, and then I heard Nigel's
Dark Crisp? Oh, Power Hats. Signature
yeah,
Powers.
power ones, and I heard them from out front, and I heard them over here, and I was like, you know what? Told Teddy, just go out and get me a pair. Call Andrew, get them here, and I love them. And oddly enough, I always thought the power stuff might be too loud for the piano-based stuff that we're doing, but they're fabulous.
Well, what about? Have you broken the cymbals?
Yeah.
How many times? On this.
I've only broken 2 crashes so far. Usually this one or this one, just because I'm hitting them too hard.
I've only broken.
Well, you've also got yours. You've also got yours.
One break in 5 years.
That's also because he's doing the right thing, getting the full sound out of the cymbal by hitting down on it. I don't do that. I'm hitting right at them, so I tend to like crinkle them. I tried that for a long time, and I just never got comfortable hitting the cymbal on the angle you're playing. I can't do that. So I break them from time to time.
And I can't teach him. He reads music, I don't.
Oh, not much. not much anymore. Are you kidding?
Gentlemen, thank you so much.
No,
You're
but
very welcome.
I appreciate taking the time.
Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Come hear us on tour. Nigel, Chuck, Billy, Elton. Come
We're
see
here.
this show. It's amazing.